We are faced with a journey both natural and supernatural. A journey from darkness and fallenness into light, into a natural imperfect happiness and beyond, with the help of the Church and her sacraments, to eternal beatitude with God. Various powers help us to journey. Powers of seeing, by which we see our ultimate destination, as well as the practical way forward. Powers of striving, which help us to go after the good that we seek, as well as bodily powers of supporting that enable all our seeing and striving after happiness. These powers are given to us so that we might satisfy the deep thirst that drives us to make our journey, a thirst implanted into the very depths of our hearts. Through the processes of the body, especially the human brain, we are able to combine different sensations from the physical world into a single image, retain and manipulate it, store and recall it, and instinctively evaluate it as good, neutral, or bad for us. When connected with innate drives, this then produces feelings which can be perceived as emotions. These bodily changes support our higher power to perceive, judge, and reason about the essential nature of things, as well as the power to freely choose and go after what we decide is good for us. These powers to think, feel, and choose are highly integrated and derive from the depths of the human soul. Each person, with his bodily and spiritual powers, is substantially one being, who at his core desires and can only be happy in relationships of love with other persons, and most especially with God. We are made in the image of an all-powerful Creator, a triune God, who is both a union and communion of persons, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, who together form one community of life and love. God created the human race to reflect His nature as a union and communion of persons. This is revealed in our very bodies, for we were made both male and female. When joined together in a mutual self-gift, this union can bear the fruit of children, who we are able to nurture and to encourage so that they may grow and develop into their full potential as human persons. Thus it is our family relationships that provide us with both a secure base from which to explore our inner and outer worlds, as well as a safe haven for us to return to in times of distress. The family is a key part of God's plan to bring us into existence, to shape our identity as persons capable of knowing and loving, as a union and communion of persons after His image and likeness. God made our hearts capable of being filled with His grace, so that we might be united with Him and share in His communion of life and love. However, man, by his sin, lost this opportunity and fell from his original state of innocence and justice. As a result, he became subject to disorder and disconnection. His body became subject to death and illness. His intellect was darkened and his will weakened. Man became subject to sin and disorder at every level of his existence. But God loved us so much that He sent His only Son to become incarnate as a man, so that by His cross and resurrection He might heal our brokenness and restore unity and order to our souls. Thus we are redeemed and capable again of being filled with grace and being restored to right relationship with God, and ultimately to be united with Him in eternal happiness. Since sin has entered the world, the union and communion of persons within the family has been subject to disorder and disconnection. In place of unity is drama marked by criticism, blaming, and victimhood. Instead of intimacy and communion, there's separation and isolation. As we develop, these forces lead to insecurity and confusion about who we are and how we find happiness in relationship with others.